to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is going to be on learning about the key features of BMC Helix dashboards. This is for 24.2. We have a mixed session today, and we also have 4 presenters. The session is going to involve some slides. We will also have a demo as well, so that's going to be quite a lengthy video. We're very fortunate to be joined by quite a few panelists, so do put your questions into the Q&A section of Zoom, which you'll find at the bottom. We will be answering them during the session. This session is longer than normal, it's 90 minutes. We will be going through the key features at the start, and then we will be opening up for live Q&A at the end, roughly for around 20 minutes. So I'm just going to introduce our presenters, so if we can just move to the next slide. So we have Nikhil, our product manager. We have Kashita, our product developer. We have Abhijit, another product developer, and we have Yuran, another product developer. So all of them will be presenting today. So do please put your questions out in the Q&A, and we will get started. So I'm going to now hand over to Nikhil. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Sam. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining this webinar. We're excited to bring you what's new, to help you understand what's new in BMC Helix Dashboards 24.2. This release was generally available in the first week of April. And for those customers who are on SaaS, you would have already received this update on your environments along with other AD services. And if you're on-prem, then you can go ahead and download this from EPD if you haven't already done so. In this session, I'm excited to talk about the key capabilities that we have released in Helix dashboards. We're sure that with these capabilities, BMC Helix dashboards will become a compelling alternative to smart reporting for those of you who are still actively using smart reporting. Let's look at some of the flagship features of this release. The first one is Visual Query Builder. As you're already familiar with Visual Query Builder, which is our drag and drop tool for developing dashboards, we released this earlier in the year in January, but that was for out-of-the-box forms and fields. The next logical extension for this capability was to allow our customers to also report on custom fields or custom forms or even custom applications that you may have developed on Innovation Suite. That's precisely what we have delivered in this release with a tool called Reporting Metadata Studio. This is a tool that your admins can use to extend the capabilities of our out-of-the-box metadata views, whether it's an incident, problem, business workflows. You can extend those capabilities to your custom forms or custom fields. You can even develop custom metadata views for any custom applications that you may have developed. We know that most companies prefer a process of developing anything new in a development environment, then you promote it to QA, test it, then promote to production. We are familiar with this process and we have built this capability right into the tool in Reporting Metadata Studio, where you can develop your views in your dev environment, then you can promote it to QA, test it, promote to production. We're going to see a demo of these capabilities on this call. Let's also look at some of the improvements that we have launched in Visual Query Builder. We have added new operators and functions. So for example, the ability to add an operator such as not in, or for date filters, it's very common to need an operator such as between, since most reports are about dates between a specific date and a specific start date and end date. Not only that, the date filter now defaults to between because that happens to be the most common operator that most data analysts prefer to have on their reports. On date string functions, there are new functions that we have added for string manipulation. There are functions like converting a string to uppercase, converting it to lowercase. Ltrim, rtrim are to remove the leading spaces or trailing spaces in a string. Typically, you would use this sometimes to clean data on the fly. If you worked on Excel, you're probably familiar with Excel functions, or even in SQL databases have such functions. There are some additional date functions like date, weekday, and so on. Not only that, you can also choose to display just the time or just the hours, minutes, seconds. So if you're doing any analysis that requires you to just draw some insights into, let's say, incidents that are submitted at a time of the day, a specific hour of the day, then these date time functions can be extremely useful. Additional filter operators, so the ability to add some common filter operators that are required: null, is null, not null, and so on. For string, you can do matches like exact match or something like contains, does not contain. Again, quite similar to Excel functions, quite similar to writing functions on databases. If you're familiar with writing a SQL, then you would expect most advanced report developers want to go beyond drag and drop and be able to manipulate the data or write their conditions, filter conditions, so that they can manipulate those string functions and so on. So that's precisely what these enhancements allow you to do. Role-based access control is the next it's a giant leap in our ability to give your admins much greater control over how you administer roles and permissions. This is something that will go on over at least 2 releases. And in this first release, we have decoupled roles in dashboards from BMC Helix portal. As you may be familiar, up until now, roles were controlled from portal, which is quite similar to what you would expect on all AD services. Now with decoupling, it allows us much greater control over how you can administer roles and permissions. You can manage permissions for each role the way you want. You can assign those roles to users and teams. You can create custom roles as needed. So for example, you want to have certain roles, only specific roles should be able to download reports. Others can view but not download. You can do that. You want to restrict access to certain folders to specific roles. Now you might ask, why is this even required? Since our applications such as ITSM, business workflows, and so on, all of them have got access control, and access to underlying data is controlled by the user's permission in those applications. Yet there are some folders that users will be able to access, and there are use cases wherein some customers don't even want other users to know that certain reports or certain kinds of reports exist. This is possible with this new set of capabilities. The ability to allow only certain roles, not all admins. You want to allow only certain admins to manage your data sources so that there's greater responsibility, accountability over creating and managing data sources. You can do that now. Or you want certain users to be able to manage your schedules. All of these are now possible with the first release of role-based access control. We're also excited to inform you that BMC Helix dashboards can now be used by managed service providers in the service management space. We are extending these capabilities in service management as well as in operations management. In this release, we are focusing on MSPs in service management. So you can have authentication for different authentications for each subtenant and still be able to use reports in dashboards. Now let's look at some of the improvements to how you can export reports. PDF, a very common format for exporting reports. This has been there for a while, but based on feedback we received from customers, we have made several improvements for PDF exports. Now, all rows are exported, even if the result set on the UI requires you to scroll. For example, there may be one panel in which the data extends to, let's say, several rows that can not be accommodated on the screen. You will use the scroll bar to scroll down. Now you can expect the same behavior when you export that report to PDF. If it spans multiple pages, the PDF will also span multiple pages so that all rows will be visible in the exported report. There are several formatting improvements. For example, font properties, foreground colors, background colors, hidden columns. If you hide a column in the UI, you would expect that the column should be hidden in the PDF export as well. Or if you apply any font properties in the UI, you expect the same to be retained when you export the report to PDF. So several of these improvements have been done in this release. Some will continue to make these formatting improvements in some of our upcoming future releases as well. Repetition of headers, another common requirement across our install base that is supported. There is support for branding now. When you export a report to PDF, we automatically scale the tables to accommodate the entire table. Support for simple and portrait or landscape layout. Support for BMC crosstab, and all of these enhancements that we have done to dashboards, they apply to even if you export a specific panel from a dashboard, all of these improvements apply there as well. There's some dashboard content, some out-of-the-box dashboards that we have launched, especially for AI ops. So there are some dashboards that we have moved from Marketplace to out-of-the-box folder. So there are 3 dashboards in this release. There's an anomalies overview dashboard. There's an anomalies by service dashboard and univariate anomalies by device. You can look at these dashboards, run them. If you have specific questions about what to expect in these dashboards, head to our product documentation page and you will be able to learn everything about these dashboards. Some of these features are feature flagged. So Reporting Metadata Studio, role-based access control, export improvements, these 3 are feature flagged. So you may have to configure your instance to take advantage of these features. We'll now go to our next section of this presentation, which is the product demos. Of all the features that are part of this release, we are going to demonstrate to you 3 key feature sets. Visual Query Builder, that is Visual Query Builder along with Metadata Studio, which is the tool that you will use to configure or create metadata views, then role-based access control, and PDF export enhancements. So let's look at product demo now.
Thank you, Nikhil. Myself, Kshitija Marathi. I'm from Helix Dashboards R&D team. Today, I'm going to talk about Visual Query Builder feature in Helix Dashboards. What is Visual Query Builder? So Visual Query Builder is nothing but query builder, which will allow you to generate queries on the fly without having a good knowledge on how to write SQL query or without having a good insight on how the ITSM data structure is. It also supports defining metadata layer, and that will hide all the database and schema complexities. If you look at this diagram, over here we can see Visual Query Builder will be able to consume the metadata layer which is defined, and the metadata layer is generated from the source data. BMC has shipped out-of-the-box metadata views for different ITSM modules and applications. Also, customer will be able to define their own custom metadata views as per their requirement. Main beauty of Visual Query Builder is a drag-drop, easy-to-use UI interface and automatic SQL query generation. If you look at the data flow diagram here, then you will be able to see this is a BMC Helix data source through which you will connect to this data source, and you'll be able to generate reporting metadata view layer. Once you have a metadata view layer ready, then you will be able to publish that metadata view for Visual Query Builder UI to generate queries on the fly. So Visual Query Builder will be able to consume the metadata layer defined. Let me take you to the actual demo to get a good insight on how Visual Query Builder actually works. And here, if you look at this Visual Query Builder feature is mainly applicable to service management query type. And if you look at the type, then we have 3 supported types now: form, SQL, and Visual Query Builder. Now, form type of a query, when you generate query using this form type, you will get a guided flow, but still you will require a good knowledge of how the ITSM data structure is, how the 2 tables in ITSM can be related, how to define join criteria, etc. Then in the next type, if you go via SQL, then you have to write actual query, and then you will have to generate that query through handwritten SQL query. So you need to know SQL query syntax for the same. And you have to have a good expertise on how to write query by following SQL constructs. And the third type, which is a Visual Query Builder. So if I select this type, you can see list of metadata views. So as I mentioned earlier, these metadata views are nothing but the abstract layer between the actual BMC Helix data source and the Helix dashboards. So this abstract layer helps to hide the complexity of the database schemas from the report designer. And let's consider one example as incident management. So here you can see list of metadata views. We are shipping 13 metadata views as out-of-the-box metadata views that can be used to generate queries for ITSM, BWF, DWP, etc. And also there will be a feasibility or possibility to to add your own custom metadata views as per your requirement using Reporting Metadata Studio, which I'll come to that part in the next later part of the demo. So I'll select incident management for now. And on the left pane, you can see incident details, assignment logs. So what are these? These are nothing but the categories. So we have categorized the fields into different categories. So assignment log related fields are under this assignment logs category. So like that, relevant fields are under that particular category. Incident owner, so owner group owner are under incident owner category. Like this, we have defined different categories which are suitable for the metadata view. So incident, from this incident details category, I'll just drag and drop incident number. I'll hit preview. And you can see I got a list of incident numbers as an output. And here, if you look at the query which got generated on the fly. So report designer will not have to actually go ahead and write the query. It gets generated by just dragging and dropping the required field. Now, you can see there are different icons. So these icons are to identify the different types of fields. This box icon is for dimension fields. Then this icon is especially for enum or selection type of fields. Then here you will see circular icon which indicates numeric type of field. Then you have a calculator icon for calculated fields. And if you look at here, date and time category, we have a calendar icon to identify what all are date or time fields. Then on the right hand side, you will see two sections, fields and filters. So in the fields, I have just dropped incident number. Now, if I want to get count of incidents, then I can apply different aggregations as per my needs. So for now, I'll apply count and hit preview. I got number of incidents. I'll quickly use this query in my dashboard and apply stat visualization. Number of incidents, and I apply, and I'm done with creating one panel. Then I'll go ahead and create another panel. I will take incident number, priority, and again, I'll go for aggregation as count. And I want to get details based on priority. So these are the number of incidents grouped based on priority. I'll use this query again. And this time I'll go for pie chart visualization. Select here. And yes, I'm done. So you can see it is real quick and so let me take you to the next panel where I'll show some of the good features of Visual Query Builder. So here I'll take incident number again, assigned group, priority. And here I'll look for adding filter. So whenever you are adding filter, we have different operators available so that you'll be able to either hard code the value by entering the actual value here, or you can select the values which appear from the database. So these values appear from the database if you are using enum or selection type of a field. So I'm now interested in getting critical priority incidents. So I'm selecting equal to critical. And what I'll do, I will aggregate this again as a count. And I'll use this query. Again, I'll go for different visualization this time, maybe crosstab. And here in pivot categories, what I'll do, I will add incident number in a value field, then assign group here and priority here. And if you look at I can mention this as incident by priority and assignment. And I can look at this data. Now there is one more feature available in Visual Query Builder, which is nothing but if when you go to dashboard setting and you want to apply variable, then from here you can add variable. But if you look at we can write a actual SQL query by following certain syntax and following certain convention. But there are chances of getting errors as you are writing the query manually, and we need to follow certain format for writing that query. So why not to use query builder here as well? So we have a facility to enable query editor here and generate a query for this variable. So from here, I'll select priority, preview, and I'll use query. I'll start getting values here. I'll apply and save the dashboard. Like this, I'm able to generate variable query using Visual Query Builder. I'll go quickly for one more visualization. So suppose I want to get incident along with its task details. So incident details are coming up from different table, and task is stored in TMS task table. And I'm interested in getting that information together. So I'll just drag and drop and I'm done. And if you right now look at the SQL which got generated, it is having the join between help desk and TMS task as I'm pulling data from the two tables. And I can use this query as well and apply the visualization in case required. Also, we have a way to pass the time picker range selected in dashboard in this query. So for example, I want to look for the incident data for last 30 days. Then how I'll be able to achieve it here? Then Visual Query Builder, we have a filter section, and there when I drag and drop submit date, you will see from and to appeared here. So click on from and type $. You will see this. And again, in the to section also, you can apply this too. And whenever you start passing this from and to against submit date. Now you're seeing no data, as in last 6 hours, I have not created any incident data. But here, if you look at the query gets generated along with this where condition. If I change it to suppose 1 year, then you'll start seeing the data for 1 year. Plus, there are some more features available here, like if you have a numeric type of field, then you will get more aggregation options which can be applied. Also, we have an order by option so that you can order ascending or descending. Then we have a delete option also available. Now, if you look at, we have some predefined calculated fields in out-of-the-box metadata view. So this also can be directly dragged and dropped, and we can get use of this calculated fields as well. Also, if you look at the date time fields, then I want to extract the month of submit date. Then what I'll do, there are certain functions available, date functions, time functions. From that, I'll choose year. So year of submit date will be applied. And if I hit preview, then you'll start getting year of that submit date. Like this, you'll be able to apply date time functions for date time type of a field. So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of Visual Query Builder. Also, the other part to Visual Query Builder is how you can generate the custom metadata view. So we have a Reporting Metadata Studio, which is a standalone tool. It can be used for creating custom metadata view. Either you can create it from scratch or referring to the out-of-the-box metadata view. Using this Reporting Metadata Studio, you need to follow certain prerequisites. So these prerequisites are listed in the documentation. So here is the documentation link. We will share this documentation link with you so that you will be able to look at how to define customized view to build SQL queries using Reporting Metadata Studio. So there are 3 tasks specifically which you need to do. First is installing Reporting Metadata Studio. So this studio is available currently at shared location, and from there you will be able to download it in the form of zip. Once you unzip this Reporting Metadata Studio, then before you start actually using this studio, you need to know certain prerequisites before you begin. So these are listed, like what version of JDK you need to have, then Java home need to be set, etc. Then you need to have a gateway connectivity, etc. So you can follow these instructions given in the documentation. And once you are done with unzipping the Metadata Studio, then the next step will be launching the Metadata Studio. So before you launch, there are some configurations which you need to do. That also, the information is provided in the documentation, which you can go through. And here are environment and profile.properties file, which you need to fill in the details so that you'll be able to configure your environment. And with the help of this information, you will be able to launch and connect to that environment. So here you can see I have connected to this particular tenant. So I have provided tenant ID, tenant URL details, and these are the server details. And I can give any environment alias as per my reference. Like I can provide it here dev, QA, or prod for my further reference. And similar way for profile.properties, you need to generate key and secret using the Helix portal. And from here, you can go to my profile and you'll be able to generate key from here and copy the key details, and you can configure the profile.properties using that. So once you're done with this configuration, you'll be able to launch the utility. By by double clicking on the Reporting Metadata Studio.batch file, you will be able to launch it. This is the home page you will see when you will launch the studio. If you go to File Options, you will see Import from Helix Dashboards, then Publish to Helix Dashboards, Delete Metadata View, Delete Domain, etc. So these are some options which will be useful whenever you are trying to create new metadata view or you're trying to edit or delete the metadata view. So let me go one by one. If you want to create metadata view from scratch, then you can use File, New, and Domain File. Once you click this, you will be asked for a connection, and then further steps you need to follow to be able to generate business model and business view from that. So the second main use case, which is nothing but using or referring to the existing out-of-the-box metadata views, which are provided by BMC, and saving it as a copy by adding your required additional columns as per your requirement. So how to achieve this? So use Import from Helix Dashboards option. When I click on Import from Helix Dashboards, you will see this dialog, which has a list of out-of-the-box metadata views listed. And plus, you will see some custom views which are available under this particular tenant. So what I'll do for now, I'll select Incident Management out-of-the-box view, because what I want to do in Incident Management view, I want to add one additional table so that I'll be able to get the change requests which are associated to incident. So let me give some name to this model. I'll hit OK. See, here we can see the existing incident management out of the box metadata view got loaded. On the right hand side, you will see object relationship diagram. And on the left hand side, you will see connection. Then you'll be able to see business model. So there is an existing business model which we are going to use and add our additional table and columns as per our requirement. So out of the box metadata views provided by BMC, you will not be able to edit directly, but whenever you are importing this from Helix dashboard to this UI, you are anyway creating a copy of this, and whenever you will save, it will ask you to save as, and you will be able to generate custom metadata view from that. So here, under business model, you can see business tables, relationship, and business view. So we'll come to this in the later part. But before we start, there is a existing database connection. So why this database connection is needed? To be able to get the AR system metadata. Like we want first to import the required tables. So this is the list of physical tables which are already imported in this view. Now I want to add one more table here. So what I did, I just clicked on edit connection. So this is pre-populated database connection. Just you need to enter username and password. So I will enter the same user with which I have logged in. So here, I'll test this connection, hit OK. Now my connection is successful and I'll be able to import the tables. So whenever I select import tables, you will see list of all the tables from the AR system schema. I will search for CHJ infrastructure change and I will hit OK, so that you will see now infrastructure change table will get added as a new physical table in existing view. Once we are done with adding physical table, the next step is to go under business model section. You will see here the existing business model already exists. In case whenever you are creating a new view from scratch, you need to first create a new business model and then go ahead with the next steps. Now I'll go ahead and add this new infrastructure change table under business tables section. You can see a business table dialog appeared, and it is asking to set a ID and label for this new business table. You can give it a name only the ID should be without spaces, or otherwise it will not accept it as a valid ID. So here I will keep this infrastructure change table name as it is, or you can remove double quotes if in case you don't need that. It's optional. Once I hit OK, I'm able to see on the right pane the change table got added. Now I want to relate this change table and HPD associations so that I'll be able to establish relationship between incident and change. So I'll come here in the relationships section. I'll add new relationship. So here there is a primary table and secondary table which need to be added. I will select HPD associations here and change here. Now, so from here, the list of available fields, I have chosen this request ID 01 field from HPD association and infrastructure change ID from this infrastructure change table. And I'll say left outer join these two tables and I'll hit OK. Now there is additional way if you have criteria, more than one criteria to be defined as a join criteria, then you can use complex join and you will be able to enter extra criteria over here and you'll be able to validate this and save this. So for now, I'll go ahead with this left outer join. See here in the object relationship diagram, you can see the relationship is established. Now the last step is to add this the required columns from the change table into the business view. So first of all, I'll add a new category and give it a name. Change details. Here it got added. From here, I will choose infrastructure change ID and some more fields. So I can select both the sides, like from left pane, I need to select the required columns to be added. And from the right, I need to select category to which these columns will be added and click on this add button. Now this got added. I'll close. And yeah, I'm done. Then one more thing which I wanted to cover here is about calculated fields. So if you look at existing business table HPD help desk, then we have a list of categories or list of calculated fields. So similarly, we can create one more. So how to create calculated field? Edit the business table under which you want to create calculated field. And then here on the left pane, you'll be able to see add new column. From here, add new column and select any column. I'm selecting incident number, but you can select any column as we are going to modify and convert that column into the calculated field. So this incident number got added, but I will select this and say pending incidents, as I want to calculate number of pending incidents. So how to calculate pending incident? It will be based on status equal to pending. And you will sum it up. So aggregation type need to be set as sum. Then under calculation, you have two properties, formula and is the formula exact. Here again, do override and add case when statement by following this formula and how to write this case when statement, etc. So if you are familiar with how to write case when statements, then it is same as how you write the case when statements into SQL query. So here I'm doing case when HPD helpdesk.status equal to pending, then consider it as 1. And I'm having aggregation as sum, as I need sum of such incidents so that I'll see how many pending incidents I have. Once you're done with this, then is the formula exact flag also appears, which need to be set in order for calculated field to work correctly. Then field type also, you have to consider setting it as fact so that Visual Query Builder UI will understand that this is the calculated field and it will be able to identify it correctly. Once you're done with defining all these properties, also you need to take care of the data type. It is usually set correctly, but as now this is going to be sum of this, so it is going to return the numeric value. So from string, I will convert this to numeric, as this formula is going to return me back numeric value. And I will have some length here. And I'll hit OK. Once I hit OK, pending incident got added in HPD help desk, and now I can add it into the business view under some category. So I'll add it in existing incident details category as additional calculated field. I'll hit OK. I'll save this view changes. Now it is storing these changes locally for which can be used for backup and recovery. But you will still have to publish the metadata view to Helix dashboards so that Visual Query Builder UI will be able to consume this metadata view and will be able to generate query. So I'll go ahead here and publish to Helix dashboards and select this environment to publish it. Now I can provide a name of my choice. incident management demo. Once I click OK, here you can see a metadata view for tenant got successfully published to Helix dashboards. Once you see this message, then you can go back to Visual Query Builder and look at the list of metadata views, and you'll be able to start using the metadata view to generate queries dynamically. So let me share with you the other options which are available. So for example, now you have this metadata view available on your dev environment, and you want to publish that view to the QA environment as well as to the prod environment in steps. So you need to have the other two environments also configured, and it should appear in this list. So to be able to do that, we have option configure tenant environment. Once you click here, you'll be able to add, delete, or edit the tenant environment, and you can set which is the default environment from the list of environments. Then like we looked at the properties file configuration, similar way you need to enter the required parameter values here, and then you'll be able to save this environment. And once you save this environment, you will start seeing the configured environment in this list, and you can use that to publish publish the metadata view to the other higher stacks. Then we have another option called delete metadata view. This is mainly for cleanup purpose, because usually at start we create some views for trial purpose, and later on we may not want to retain those views. So in that case, you can click on delete metadata view, and it will show the list of custom views, and you'll be able to delete the selected metadata view from here. With that, I will go back to the dashboards UI, from where so here in this existing dashboard only, I'll add new visualization. From here, I'll go to Visual Query Builder and look for demo. Here you can see incident management demo. The view got added, which is just published. And here you can see change details, which is the new category along with additional columns got added. Now I want to look at incidents along with the related change ID and change details of those related change ID. So what I'll do, I'll select these required fields, and from here I'll select request type, and in the filters I will say request type equal to, and as this request type is enum type of field, it will show all the values which are there in the database. I'll select infrastructure change as I'm interested in looking at the change requests which are related to incident. I'll hit preview and you can see the result, incidents and its related change requests. I'll use this query and yes, I'm done creating this panel. So that's what I wanted to share as a part of today's demo of Visual Query Builder feature. Thank you. With that, I will hand it over to Abhijit for taking care of RBAC feature.
Hello everyone, I am Abhijit Zadav. I am here to demonstrate the feature RBAC. So like Nikhil briefed about it, dashboards have this new feature RBAC in release 24.2. So with this feature, dashboard will have a capability to manage its own roles and permission. So once the RBAC is there, earlier on the Helix portal, we used to have 3 out-of-box roles: reporting admin, reporting editor, and reporting viewer. Now those will be replaced with a single role, reporting access. Okay, and then there is a new option introduced under administration section in dashboards. Over here, you will see a new menu option, roles. So once you go over here, you will see the out-of-box roles. Those 3 roles are still maintained over here: admin, editor, and viewer. These are the system roles. And if you go over here in this menu of actions, here you will see the various permissions which this particular role is supposed to do. So we have tried to keep the permissions more or less similar to the way it is being visualized on the portal. So here it is categorized as per the various resources like dashboards, folders, data sources, calculated field reports, and all. So this is as part of a framework we have brought up the key permissions over here. We are going to add the new permissions further as part of our roadmap. So here you see it lists down all the permissions. By the way, these permissions for out-of-box roles are non-editable. And then you can see what all users are associated to this role under this option. And it will list down all the users, and the one which have been assigned these roles can be seen as a quick view. We can have a filter to just see the assigned users, and you can see what all users have been assigned to this role. So, and then another option we have, you can also assign this role to teams over here, right? We have teams in dashboards, basically a group of users. So you can basically mapping of user group in Helix portal to the dashboards, it is teams, and you can assign the roles to the teams as well. Now, one more capability we have now is you can create a custom role over here where you can give a specific permission to a set of users or a particular user to perform on dashboards. So say for this demo purpose, I am going to demonstrate a couple of use cases. One is like today without RBAC, if a user wants to create a schedule, he needs to be at least an editor role, right? But with this RBAC, you can create a custom role. So here over here for the demonstration purpose, I have created a report broadcaster role. And if I go into the manage permissions, I can under the report section, you can provide the report access permission with which the user will be able to create the report schedules, right? As well as there are many other options like we see that view history, the report history and settings options are only available to the admin. So let's say if you want to create a persona where he is responsible to manage the schedules, then these permissions can be utilized. So I have another user in my system, which is access user, who is a viewer at this moment. Okay. Typically a viewer have very minimal permissions. He can only see the dashboards to which he has been given a permission to observe. And then now what I will do is, in this custom role, I will give access permission to this role, okay, broadcaster. And this access user is already being associated with this role, right? Report broadcaster. Now, if I go back to login as a access user, okay, and I just need to refresh it, right? And then you will start seeing the new menu option, report scheduler, which was not there. Now this viewer user have an extra capability to create reports, right? And then he can create the reports on the dashboards to which he has access to. Right. So this way we can achieve this using the custom role, this functionality. And then one more use case in order to demonstrate another use case. Let's say now this user does not have a download report permission, right? I don't want to, I mean, this viewer user, if he just open any dashboard for demo purpose, I have created one dashboard. So here, if you see over here, he does not have a download report permission by default. So then we can give this download report permission to download it in PDF, Excel, CSV, whichever format. And if I give this permission to this role, then if I just refresh my viewer user, access user basically, so here now it will start showing the download option, and user can then download their reports in the required format. So that's what I wanted to demonstrate about RBAC and its capabilities. Thank you all.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Abhijit. So I'm going to demonstrate PDF enhancements or improvements which we have done as part of 24.2 release. So the main enhancements are done for cross-tab and table plugin, where when we were generating a report, when we are exporting dashboard through for the PDF format, then mainly for table and cross-tab panels, we are not getting full data in the output PDF. So just to show you the existing behavior, so if let's say I am having this dashboard where I am having 4 panels. So our first panel is bar chart panel, second panel is table panel, third panel is cross-tab panel, and fourth panel is again one table panel with different data. So I'm having 4 panels in a single dashboard. So if we talk about the supporting layout options for PDF. So right now we support grid and simple layout. And for grid layout, so these changes are only applied and done for the simple layout. And grid layout with portrait and landscape orientation will work as it is. So for the simple layout mainly, we have 2 orientations, portrait and landscape. And if I show you the sample of how it was looking before, then this is how in older releases users are getting the report when they are exporting the dashboard. So as you can see, for the simple and portrait layout mainly, we are trying to fit 3 panels in a single page, and as you can see I'm having 4 panels. So all 4 panels are kind of shown in 2 pages, and the data is not coming up in terms of all the rows are chopped, columns are not showing up, not all the columns. And also if we talk about the cell level text as well, so we are wrapping that as well. We are trimming that cell level data as well. And because of that, so the output PDF, we are not getting all the data which we are seeing on the dashboard. So the same issue was there for the cross-step plugin as well. When you are having bigger reports, as you can see, I'm having multiple rows as well, but all those rows are kind of chopped for the cross-step plugin as well. So this is kind of a sample for the older release. This is portrait layout, and this sample is for the landscape layout. So the difference between portrait and landscape layout was in earlier release was in portrait layout we tends to fit 3 panels in a single page, and with the landscape layout we are showing we are dividing each panel in each page. So as you can see, there are 4 pages generated, and for each panel is divided in each and every page. So now we are having a little bit more room for the table panel and for the cross tab as well. But the thing is, the problem still problem is still there because the columns are chopped here as well, and the rows are not showing. We are not showing all the rows in simple and landscape layout as well. So this was kind of a big problem when we are generating the PDF mainly for table and cross tab. So with new implementation, there is nothing changed. So with your usual simple portrait and simple landscape layout, if you are downloading PDF, you are reviewing PDF. If let's say you are down sharing the specific single panel PDF, or let's say if you are scheduling this dashboard, right, for all this ways where all with all these different ways you are downloading the PDF, you will get this new features where, so this is the new PDF output with new implementation. So in the new release, so as you can see, there are now the table panel will have full data. All the columns are visible. As you can see, dynamic scaling is also applied here. So based on the data or text is there as part of that particular column, that column will use that much amount of width only, and so that we can use maximum space, whatever layout you choose, whether you choose portrait or whether you choose landscape layout. So and the main part is previously the headers were I mean, we were only restricted to single page. Now all the remaining rows are kind of dynamically divided to multiple pages until whatever rows limit you have configured in the dashboard level in each and every panel. So that will be kind of displayed based on that. So all those records will be finally finally come into the output PDF, and the same behavior features are applied for the cross tab as well. So for cross tab, it was also restricted to single page. Now you can see the headers are repeated and the remaining data will be visible on the remaining pages. So this is also one great example where you can see that now we are also supporting header wrapping as well. So if you are having, let's say, bigger headers, and if you are worried about showing full header name, then now it's supported as well. So it's kind of wrapped and automatically dropped into the second line. Same thing is happening for the larger text as well. So if your cell contains bigger text, then those bigger text will be dropped in the second line. So based on the text which you are having, it's dynamically calculating how much amount of width or height each row and cell is gonna use, and based on that we are fitting columns and rows in each and every page to fit each and every data of each and every cell. So this is the sample layout of portrait orientation. And if I show you the same report for the landscape orientation, then this is how the landscape orientation looks. So please notice that now you are getting more rows on a single page because now we are having more room in terms of more width. So we are fitting more text and more data on a single page. So now we have, yes, it should be wrapped in a less pages. Yeah. So same things is supported for the cross tab as well. So as I mentioned, yes. And also, we are supporting hyperlinks as well. So if you have hyperlinks specifically configured for a specific column, then the hyperlinks are available. So if let's say you have configured drill through reports, and if you have, if let's say for this incident, if user wants to go to that particular incident to get more details, then they can directly jump from the PDF itself, and that is also supported as with our new implementation as well. And also with the new features, we also support custom logos, brandings, etc. So all those features which are there in report scheduler to change the footer text, header text, logos, etc. Everything is supported as well. And we do support two themes. Helix Dashboard mainly support two themes, light and dark themes. So for darker theme as well, we support the new table implementation, and all background colors and text and fonts will be applied accordingly. So as you can see here, this is one sample report of dark theme where all the colors are updated accordingly based on the theme type, and at the header footer level, all the hyperlinks as well. So everything is supported based on your customized themes as well. So same thing applied for the cross step. So yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, thank you. Back to Nikhil.
Thank you, Kshitija, Abhijit, and Urain for these great demos, or these product demos. We are now going to look at questions. I can see that most questions have already been answered.
Yeah, it's been very busy, Nikhil. We've got a couple of questions that are still pending. I can see Alan's got a question, and hopefully, Alan, you'll be able to come off mute today. But Alan's question is going to be answered by Vikram. So, Alan, I don't know if you want to come off mute, and Vikram, if you can answer that one live, that would be fantastic. Just while I start unmuting everyone so they can speak to us as well. Can you hear us, Alan? I know Alan had audio issues yesterday. So Alan's question, Nikhil, was he was asking around ITSM that they will have French and English view. There is no bearing on the data, which can be in English or French. How do we create a report that can take advantage? So I don't know, Vikram, can you just recap that?
Yep.
I see you've just finished answering.
Yes, right. So while creating a dashboard query, while forming a query, there is an option for dashboard header. In header, you can choose the local and you can choose the language you want, and then it will translate the data in the respective language if that is supported on the ITSM side.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vikram. So the next question came from Sherwin. Can we remove the default branding from the PDF reports? Sherwin, still feel free to come off mute if you want to talk.
Hi, yes. I had this question because the last presentation from Oren Patel, I just saw that there's a lot of new features added to the branding part of the report. So I would like to further understand if it's possible to remove the branding from the PDF reports, because that's one of the concerns. We are not able to remove the default BMC Helix logo and also the timestamps from the report. So we'd like to understand if that's already implemented.
Yeah, hi. So I think you can customize that particular logo, right? Which you can set it in the report scheduler, I think, in the
Yeah,
settings.
so
in
there is a
report scheduler.
settings section in
Yeah,
report scheduler where an admin can change the logo and header footer.
correct. Footer text as well, header some text as well.
This changing is fine, but is it possible to remove it as well from the reports? Is it possible to hide it completely?
No, so as of now, that option is
Yeah.
not there.
So
Okay.
it remains as a default setting for reports.
Right.
Okay. All right then. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherwin. Thanks for your question. Alan, I can see you've come off mute. I don't know if you're audible, if you wanted to say anything, just by chance.
Can you hear me okay?
We can, yes. Eureka.
Awesome. Unlike before.
Were you okay with the
Um,
answer to your question, or do you have another question?
I don't think I understand the answer. My question is basically
Okay.
this. In our environment, we have French and English. So when we create reports, say in English, we need to be able to create them in French also. Now, the data language is whatever the user wants. So, when we choose French and English in the install, we would have both French and English views available. The question is, how do we translate that to the dashboard reporting?
Yeah, there are two parts to it. One is translating data, and second is translating content or the dashboard itself. So when we say data, whatever data we are pulling from ITSM, while creating a query, there is a header option to choose. And under header, we can choose the local, and that will translate the data inside the report or the dashboard. But the dashboard will have some labels, titles, column headers. So all that come as a content in the dashboard. That is not it supporting the localization.
Okay. Is that in the next release or future release?
Yeah, Nikhil, you want to take that?
Yes, there's a dependency on Grafana for this. At this time, we cannot assure when it will be fixed because we have a hard limit in terms of what capabilities we can address versus the ones that we are dependent on Grafana for. This happens to be one of the things where we are dependent on Grafana. Let me share my screen and show you what's... No, I don't seem to have it. Yeah, so as Vikram said, there are limits to which we can transport, but we cannot completely offer a completely localized dashboard in French or other languages. It's available to some extent, but not completely.
Okay, thank you. Just wondering, for our audience here, it's a mandatory requirement. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get there in the future. But where we are now is light years ahead of where you guys began. Congratulations.
Can you tell us which, if you don't mind, can we know which company you belong to?
The Canadian government.
Okay. Yes, we are aware of them.
Okay.
Do we want to
Thank you.
follow up, Nikhil? Is there any ideas or anything that we can share at this stage?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Okay, Madhu has raised their hand. Can
Yes,
you
let's
unmute
go
Madhu?
to Madhu before we go back to the questions.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Hello.
Hi. The question almost states like Alan asked same kind of question. Is it Arabic is supported? If yes, the option we have Arabic generally right to left basically. Okay, is it that is also supported?
No, it is
So
not. We don't have support for right to left languages.
not no, means there is no Arabic support.
No, there is not.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Saudi Arabia then. KSA Arabic people. Okay, will it be in future?
It's not a roadmap item at this time, but I would encourage you to create an idea on BMC community.
Yeah,
And
well, we'll
Mhm.
definitely, because BMC smart reporting supports, right? So at least people expect the same kind of things.
Okay.
So that's it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Madhu.
Thomas has a question. Will line wrap also be available for the report itself or only for PDF? Urain, can you answer this one?
Yeah, sure, Nikhil. So, Thomas, by saying line wrap, you mean the text wrap, right? So currently, we are supporting it for PDF output. I think for in the table itself, you can see the full data when you are hovering on that particular cell. So that kind of panel setting is there. But yeah, by default, the line wrapping or text wrapping is not happening on the dashboard level. But in output PDF, we are supporting from 24.2. But yeah, we have to. I think that's I think item maybe in our future roadmap. Yeah.
Yep. So I can add some more details here. We are working on a new table plugin, BMC table plugin. We don't have ETA yet, but we are planning to include this in the new BMC table plugin where we will be supporting line wrap.
Okay.
Hope that answers. Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Vikram.
Thank you. And
Okay,
then we
and
have
this, yeah,
John's,
the
don't
question
we?
from
John's
John.
question.
Yes.
Hey, John, can you hear us? I know you had problems on my last webinar. Are you audioable today?
You tell me.
Oh, wow. Full sweep today. It's like dealing with a live audience that isn't really live. Everyone was having audio issues the other day. Yes, we can definitely hear you. Nice to actually hear your voice. So
Thank you.
yeah, we've got your question in here. So you were just mentioning about the first slide. Do you want to just ask the team and Nikhil can see who would be best to answer that?
Sure, and I will make sure I didn't misread the slide. So I thought one of the slides that said the hidden columns wouldn't be part of the exports. So assuming I read that correctly, I just tried to run one of my, an export for PDF that had some hidden columns and a table field, and they're showing up. So did I misread the slide, or, and I'll just leave a ... or something else.
Urain, can you respond to that one?
Yes, sure. So there are a couple of small features which Nikhil mentioned, formatting related features, which are also coming up in the next upcoming releases as well. So this item will be part of that. Yeah. So so that's why it's not in the 24.2 release.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Okay. I'm very conscious we've kept everyone for a long time. Great questions as well. And I hope you found this session useful. We will be doing more sessions like this. I know when I was speaking to the team today, we call it the key features. There's so much more that we can share. And the reason we put them into demos is so I can then give you those separate recordings to watch back as well as the slides. And then you can also have the final recording. Everything that we've shared today will go onto YouTube, onto the webinar pages. Don't worry if you're not familiar with these areas, they will be sent out on a thank you email. Just also a heads up, we do have sessions coming up as well. So if you do know of anyone that is still trying to do migrations from smart reporting to dashboards, we have a fantastic 3-hour workshop, which is on the 22nd of May. That registration link is on my webinar page. Again, I will be sharing that with you. We also have one of our panelists that's on today and working with me on a lot of content. Danny will be doing a webinar session on the 16th of May, which is next Thursday. That will be on how to use transformations in Helix dashboards. So another really good enablement session if you're interested. And we've also got an Ask the Expert session. So it's a little bit like this Q&A that we've been doing at the end. That will be on the 4th of June, and it's very likely that we'll incorporate everything that's happened in the last few sessions in April and May. Some of those questions we will retable, and hopefully if you've got any general questions, the team you've seen and heard from today will be part of the panelists as well. So hopefully we'll look forward to seeing some of you again also on some of those sessions. So thank you very much. Thank you for our presenters today. Great session, and hopefully see everyone soon. And thank you for staying on for so long. Have a good day, everyone.